Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the next episode of Joe Kelley's Psychedelic Experience. Hey there, kiddos. Your old pal Joe here. Before we get into this week's episode, I just want to let you know there were some technical difficulties, all right? I got a new camera, so the picture on this episode is going to be a little bit fucked up. Mainly, there's going to be a square tracking my face the whole fucking time. It looks like I have everything figured out now, and there'll be some shit in the bottom right-hand corner. That's my bad. I can't do everything perfectly. I was debating whether or not to put this video portion of the podcast out this week just because it doesn't look great, but fuck it. We're here. We're doing it anyway. And if you want to give me shit, go for it. We'll be back with a better video next week. As you can see, it looks like everything's working out now. Anyway, thanks for checking out the podcast this week, guys. I'm really happy with how this episode came out, so enjoy it. This week's episode brought to you by Magic Mind, everybody. What is Magic Mind? If you're watching, as you can see, it's merely a 2-ounce shot of nootropics, vitamins, minerals to help you get your day going, ladies and gentlemen. What's in it? Matcha. That's going to support your energy. Also got lion's mane mushroom to help you balance your mood and improve cognition. I've been all about lion's mane lately. I had some coffee not too long ago with lion's mane in it, and now I got these little nice nootropic shots from Magic Mind. Go check them out. Also, Bacopa Monarini. That's not going to be pronounced right, but that's going to support your attention. Of course, turmeric, we all know about that. Supports healthy blood flow, and a couple of other things I can't pronounce is going to help you with your memory and reduce your stress. Listen, personal experience, ladies and gentlemen. You know I ain't bullshitting you here on this podcast. These little shots have been fucking changing my life the past week and a half, and I'm not even bullshitting you. Usually my morning routine has been as follows, all right? I'll get up in the morning, I'll get some coffee going, and then I go to the bathroom, and then I'll get some water, take a couple bites of a banana, get some vitamins in me, take another couple bites of a banana, a little bit more water, and then pretty much just wait for the coffee to get done. But I have integrated these little shots into my morning routine, so now it's get up, get some coffee going, get a little water in me, get my banana, my vitamins, do this little shot with it, and then eat a little more banana and some water. And then I've just been already starting my day, people. I've been doing the dishes. I've been cleaning the house every day. And it has all been before coffee. And I'm one of those people who usually can't get going until I have my coffee. But these little fucking shots, man, they have put me, I swear to God, they put me in a good mood. And it's like immediately, as soon as I drink it, I'm ready to start doing shit. It's like, oh, there's some mail that's out of order. Let me go through that and clean it up. And usually that shit doesn't happen until after my coffee. So adding these little shots before my coffee have absolutely changed my life. If you want to try them out, I highly recommend you do if you're having trouble starting your day. It's fucking changed my life, people. Go to Magic Mike, fuck. Don't go to Magic Mike unless you want to see some sexy dudes. But if you're looking to have a little bit easier morning, go to magicmind.co/Joe Kelley. At the checkout, enter the promo code JOEKELLEY. We'll get you up to like 50% off. You can either order it one time or you can get a subscription. Give it a try. Go with the 15-pack. Give it a try one time. You'll save like $20-30 just on that using my promo code and see how you like it. I swear to God, people, this is fucking, I'm a fan. They hooked me up with these for, sponsoring the podcast or whatever, but I'm going to be a regular fucking user of these. They've absolutely changed my life. I feel great. I feel more positivity flowing through me at the beginning of the day, and I'm just ready to fucking go. So once again, magicmind.co. Go check it out. Been a little bit of a long ad, but it is what it is. I'm letting you know, man, that shit has been fucking doing wonders for me. A lot of motherfuckers out here selling snake oil to you. I ain't gonna do that, man. It's been fucking absolutely fan-fucking-tastic. But listen, now that that's out of the way, now it's on to you, my friend. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing better than you ever thought you possibly could be doing. We're coming to you in 4K nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that shit. Hey, and if you aren't doing better than you fucking ever thought you possibly could be doing, what the fuck's wrong with you? Get your shit together, people. Get it together. We're already in fucking April. What the fuck happened there? 3 months. We're already, what is it? a fucking 4, 8, 12. We're already a third. Well, I guess a quarter of the way through the year. I was going to fucking amp it up and try and say a third, but we're just getting into April. We don't need to wish this month away. It's going to be a good one. Where the fuck has the time gone, ladies and gentlemen? Holy shit, I can't believe it's already fucking April. That's blowing my mind to think about. But hey, get your fucking shit together, nut up. It's going to be a good fucking month. It's going to be springtime pretty much. Hey, some shows coming up this month. I'll be in Lexington, Kentucky this Thursday through Saturday, the 6th, 7th, and 8th at Comedy Off-Broadway with my good buddy Aaron Weber. I'll be in Austin, Texas, April 15th at the Creek in the Cave. And then it looks like Napanee, Indiana, the 27th of April with my good buddy Aaron Weber. And then I got some stuff. I'll be back in Lexington in May, along with Paducah, fucking Knoxville, all sorts of shit coming up. Later in the year, I'm going to be in Boston, possibly Canada. You don't know where I'm popping up. It's going to be all over the place. Go to joekellycomedy.com for all the fucking dates and info. You know what I mean? What's been up with you, my friend? How has your week been? I'm not going to bullshit you people. I'm recording this on fucking Thursday. I'll be in Syracuse this weekend. And I just know when I get back on Sundays, you know, I'm usually ready to record a podcast. And then by the time I get back here and kind of unwind from all the traveling and shit, I'm a little bit plumb tuckered. So I figured I'd record this a little bit early. But I'm going to assume Syracuse, New York is going to be a fun time. All right. I can't give you an update on that. But been in Nashville this week, people. Bad fucking news in Nashville. You know what I mean? We had a nice school shooting that happened. Thoughts and prayers, all that stuff that everybody gives you all the time, but doesn't do anything to really change the problem. I'll give you some of that too. But you know, fucking, you know, what are you supposed to say here? Another fucking bunch of bullshit or some fucking, you know, just a weak fucking person. Some weak fucking person who can't handle fucking life decides to take it out on the most vulnerable fucking, you know, humans on the planet, which are children, which is fucked up. You know what I mean? Every one of these motherfuckers is a coward. They do it time and time again. And, you know, that's all it is. They, you know, they're dead. So they got theirs in the end. But I guess that's really what they wanted, right? Some suicidal maniac decides to go fucking shoot some kids so they can fucking feel like a big person or whatever it is, you know. It's fucked up. It ain't good. I don't know what to do about it. I'm sure you don't either. You know, the easy solution is get rid of the guns, right? But, you know, then anybody who has a gun will be a criminal. So you got to keep that in mind too, that it can't be, you know, you're never going to take away the guns from people in America anyway. So what is the real issue there? Fucking people out of their fucking minds. That's the fucking problem. And what do you do about that? You know what I mean? What are you really supposed to do about people who are out of their fucking minds? And even if you take the guns away, which I believe Canada is their gun laws are pretty heavy up in Canada. Is the day before the school shooting, I watched some video of some motherfucker in Vancouver getting basically gutted in front of a Starbucks. I don't know if you guys saw that clip or heard about it, but some poor fucking bastard. I don't know what happened, if there was a fight or an argument or whatever, but he basically got gutted on the patio of this Starbucks. And the fucked up thing is there's a guy, as this guy's bleeding out all over the fucking place, there's some dude in the background just sipping on his coffee. Like it's just a normal fucking day. You know what I mean? So violence is all around us, people. It's a part of life. It's, you know, it's a huge part of life. You know what I mean? It's without violence, there would be no life. You understand? That's how most things eat that aren't us, you know, and even us. We're detached from the violence that goes into our food. You know what I mean? We're not every single one of us is experiencing a slaughterhouse every fucking day. So all the meat, the beef, the pork, everything, all the chickens, it's like they live a violent fucking life for you to eat. So, you know, you can't get rid of violence. It's a part of life. It makes the world go round. You know what I mean? But god damn. Fucking cowards. Fucking cowards. You know what I mean? You'll never get rid of those motherfuckers either. So what do you do? what do you do, people? I got no fucking idea. But my heart's out to anybody that is affected by this tragedy that has happened this past week. That's all I can really say. That's all I can really do. You know what I mean? We got to keep living life. We can't stop living life. Unless, of course, this was a football game where it happened and then the whole fucking world would stop and fucking go, oh, my God. No, not a football game. But when it happens at a school, we go, that's bad, but let's fucking, let's move on to whatever the fuck, Masked Singer or whatever the fuck it is that people want to watch. That's just what we do. We keep moving on. But kudos to those cops, dude. Let's say kudos to the cops for not fucking standing around like a bunch of pussies like they did wherever the Vlad or wherever the fuck it was. You know what I mean? Let's give some kudos to the cops for not being a bunch of fucking pussies, huh? That's good news. That's good news. Only one coward in that whole school that whole day, and it was the motherfucker shooting kids, And thank God it was another white guy. You know what I mean, people? Because at first I was like, wait a minute, a lady is shooting up a school? Then come to find out it's just a white guy again. And it's like, thank God, because that is our thing. You know what I mean? We don't need people appropriating our culture, So thank God it ended up just being a regular old white fella. Oh, what the fuck, Anyway, I said my piece. Let's move on to some other shit. Breaking news right now, people. I know this ain't coming out till Monday, but I just saw it right before I hopped on the old podcast for you. Trump is getting indicted for something. I don't know. Apparently he's the first ex-president to be indicted, which I still don't know what that means exactly, if that means he's going to jail or if he just has to go to court or what the fuck's going to happen. But, I'm sure it's not a big distraction from something else that's going on in the world. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's not distracting anybody from the, 9 million people protesting in France right now for whatever it is they got going on, something about raising the age limit of where you can retire. I'm sure it has nothing to do with a large portion of Austrian politicians walking out as soon as Zelensky started speaking. I'm sure it has nothing to do with that. That shit's not getting talked about. But the big Trump dog, he's going down for paying off a loudmouth whore. That's what's happening. It's like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? There's nothing worse going on in the world at all. So I'm sure that's what we need to be worried about. Some orange-faced billionaire paying off some fucking porn star. So she doesn't go blabbing that she sucked his dick. So now he's going to go to jail for that. Like, of all the things you could go to jail for, especially as a politician, especially as these fucking criminal fucking politicians, you think paying some dirty whore to keep her mouth shut would be at the bottom of the list of things that we should be worried about. But no. It's at the top of the list, so we can let all these other criminal demons run a fucking muck and continue to do whatever it is they do to fucking manipulate the general population and not, and definitely not looking out for them. But, Trump's the worst one ever. He's definitely the worst one ever. So thank God he's in jail or he's going to jail or whatever the fuck. I don't know exactly what it means, but, dude, I just keep thinking about, did y'all see the clip where, and I know there's some fuckery going on with the cameras or whatever, but after the shooting in Nashville, when Biden was supposed to say something about it, he was having his press conference or whatever, and it looks like they cut on the cameras a little bit early because he's wandering around talking about mint chocolate chip ice cream. Did y'all see that? Where there's dead kids and he's like, they got some mint chocolate chip ice cream upstairs. Boy, oh boy, do I love some mint chocolate chip. You know what else I love besides mint chocolate chip? Those 4 kids in the back. Why don't we stand up and get a good look at them? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying, listen, I'm pretty sure that was a fucking ruse and, they turned the cameras on early or whatever it was to make him look like an asshole. But I think about, because in November of 2020, end of the first run of the pandemic or whatever, I went back to work at this restaurant I was working at, right? And the day that it was announced that Biden won the election, the front of the house manager, who was married to the head chef, he was in the back of the house. It was their restaurant. They owned it together. She came in the back with champagne. We're in the middle of a fucking breakfast rush. You know what I mean? And she comes back with glasses of champagne, and they cheers the champagne and drink it to celebrate the fact that that Biden had won the election, you know. And anytime he's walking around mumbling about fucking mint chocolate chip ice cream, I think of those two motherfuckers and go, this is what you were celebrating, guys. This is what, you know what I mean? This is what you wanted. This was your big fucking day. And listen, people, you know I don't vote. I don't give a fuck. But it just is fascinating to me. And I quit that restaurant shortly after just because I could tell these people had their heads up their fucking asses. It's like you're fucking toasting champagne. For what? For what? Your restaurant was just closed for the past 8 months. Not because of who you voted for, but because shit was all fucked up. You know what I mean? That should be the concern, not some fucking election. And then you're cheersing champagne. And now this fucking guy's walking around sniffing kids and fucking rambling about mint chocolate chip ice cream while there's fucking dead kids. And spending no time in Ohio where the fucking, where they pretty much blew up that fucking city. Nothing like that. Just keep shipping money to Ukraine. Again, I don't know anything about anything, people. But anytime he does something stupid, or just looks foolish, I just think about those people toasting champagne and going, this is what you wanted. This is what you really wanted? Or are you just fucking stupid? Because it just seems like most people are stupid. But anyway, we didn't come to the podcast to fucking talk about politics this whole time. You know what I mean? I think that magic mind stuff is making me smarter. Nah, that ain't it at all. It's just, you just got to say something, right? And it's just all very confusing and all fucked up. And it doesn't seem real anymore, The world just doesn't seem real. But anyway, we came on. What are we trying to do today? Trying to talk about some mushrooms, people. That's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about my first heroic dose. I wanted to share that with you. I'm not too sure if you guys have ever partook? I don't fucking know what the word is. I don't know if you guys have ever done a heroic dose of mushrooms. If you don't know what a heroic dose of mushroom is, it was a phrase coined by the one and only Mr. Terence McKenna. If you don't know who Terence McKenna is, I highly suggest you look him up. One of the very influential psychedelic teachers of our time, people. A botanist, studied many psychedelic plants all over the world, as well as the cultures that came to be around those psychedelic plants. Check him out. He's got some great books. The Archaic Revival is a great book. What was the one? Fruit of the Gods. I think that's more of like a mushroom kind of book. The Archaic Revival is more just, shedding this illusion of society that we live in and going back to, dancing in the rain and tribal circles and shit like that. He's a pretty interesting guy, but he coined the phrase heroic dose. A heroic dose is 5 dried grams or more. Now, when you're drying out mushrooms, here's a little science for you, people. About 10 grams of wet mushrooms dries down to a gram. So when you're talking 5 dried grams, that's 50 wet grams, all right? I know a lot of people are microdosing nowadays and taking 1 cap at a time. Grow up. You're fucking pussies, all right? Deal with the world for once in your life. You can't fucking handle reality? Well, maybe you should do something to change it instead of going, I'll just take a little mushroom to go, oh, life is good. It's not good, all right? Fucking... I'm not a fan of microdosing. I know it's a big thing now where people are like, oh, it helps deal with the depression and all that shit. But you know what? You know what helps deals with depression? Fucking getting up and doing something with yourself. That helps combat depression too. You know what I mean? And take it from me. I know all about that shit. Anytime I'm sitting around being a lazy, sad sack of shit, that's when I'm depressed. When I'm up doing shit, doing the stuff I know I'm supposed to be doing, I never feel depressed. I don't have time to think about being depressed. You know what I mean? So... if you microdose of that, do whatever you got to do to get through life. It's pussy. It's a pussy way out. I think you should be doing all the mushrooms or none at all. That's just my personal philosophy. But do whatever you got to do to get through life. Life is hard to deal with. We shouldn't judge one another for the choices that we make, but just know that you are a pussy. You can't handle fucking life, so you got to be tripping mushrooms all the time. I worked at another restaurant with some people who would microdose, and it's like, they'd be fucking up all day, dude. I get that you aren't sad, but you're making my life awfully hard and and I'm irritated. You know what I mean? They be coming and go, oh, I've been microdosing all week. I'm microdosing right now, and I feel so much better. It's like, well, you're fucking up all the tickets. You know what I mean? We're serving brunch from 7 to 2. I'm in the goddamn kitchen dealing with your fucking, positive mistakes, bro. Positive mistakes. Go fuck yourself. Stay off the mushrooms. Get your fucking life together. Maybe if you could fucking, at the very least, fucking do well at a restaurant, you wouldn't be depressed. Maybe you're just a stupid sack of shit. Maybe that's why you're fucking depressed. Anyway. Take all the mushrooms, people. Do it all. But I've never had a bad trip either. I was very concerned before I had taken mushrooms that I would have a bad trip, because that's all like the mythology. Like everybody or people I talked to, everyone's like, "Oh, I had a bad trip one time. I had a bad trip one time," and I've tried to have some bad trips, and I never have. I've taken large doses of mushrooms when I have been in a very bad state mentally. You know what I mean? I've gone to slay the dragon, if you will, and it wasn't bad at all. It's never been bad. Even when I fucking have had just the worst fucking thoughts in my head. You know, couldn't figure it out. Couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on, why I was feeling the way I was, but was just in a shitty, dark fucking place. I would take large doses of mushrooms, sit alone in a dark room, and face those fucking thoughts. And they're really not that scary, to be honest with you. I thought they'd be a lot worse than what they were. But maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just a me thing. Maybe I don't know. Maybe my mind isn't as dark as other people's. But I think you can shine light into that darkness instead of just avoiding it. You know what I mean? And I think mushrooms are a good way to do that. But I've never had a bad trip, and I've welcomed it. I've been looking for it. I want to freak out. I want to see the devil. I want the fucking, the floor to turn into spiders or whatever that stupid shit is that people always talk about. And I've never had it happen, man. I've never seen anything that wasn't there. Or, you know what I mean? Not that shit doesn't move and breathe and fucking, an infinite amount of fucking eyes show up in the sky. I've seen that, but I just assume that they're always there. The ground's never turned into fire or spiders or anything like that. I've never talked to crickets. My buddy's like, I had a conversation with crickets once, and I've never talked to the crickets, but I've never had a bad trip. But I think it had to do with preparing myself before I had taken mushrooms. Because I guess a lot of the times that people have a bad trip is they do mushrooms when they're like a teenager or some shit. Hormones running crazy. You don't know what the fuck's going on. You have no real sense of life or reality anyway. So maybe that's what it is. But I've never had one. But again, I think that has more to do with preparing myself for what mushrooms are rather than listening to everybody tell me what they are. Because I was always interested in mushrooms. Or not always, but I guess I would have been probably 21, 22. I started smoking weed when I was 19. I'm a late bloomer, people. I'm a late bloomer, all right? And I guess that's maybe when mushrooms kind of became more of an interest or whatever. But I never took them until I was 24 was the first time I took mushrooms. So 5 years after I smoked weed for the first time. And it was a thing where I just took all the lessons that everybody had told me about mushrooms up until that point in my life. And I just kind of, not that my friends or anybody is like a dumb person or whatever, but I just kind of was like, well, maybe they just don't know anything about mushrooms. And they were taking it not knowing what the fuck they were doing or what they were trying to get out of it. You know what I mean? They wanted to go look at a Ferris wheel or go to a Cypress Hill concert or something like that. And I didn't want to do any of that. I wanted to experience what the mushrooms actually were. So I got my hands on some literature and read some books and read some articles about mushrooms. And the first time I took them, I actually grew them myself. That because I wanted to know exactly what the fuck I was doing. And if you have any interest in growing mushrooms, it is fairly easy. Here's a pro tip, people. Spores do not contain psilocybin. There is no psilocybin in spores, okay? And it is only illegal in 2 states, I believe, to possess spores. One of them is Georgia, and I believe the other one is like North Dakota, maybe. There might be 3 states or something like that, but look it up sometime. So you can find spores online, and it is completely legal because there is no psilocybin in mushroom spores, all right? And then after that, it's up to you what you want to do with them, okay? I'll tell you that right now. There's plenty of guides you can find. But I went into it going, I want to know exactly what I'm doing. I want to know what the kind of mushroom that I have is. I want to dry it myself. I want to weigh it myself. I want to know exactly what the fuck it is so I don't have to worry about, someone giving me some shit that I don't know what it is. Because the first time someone gave me a mushroom, they gave it to me in a capsule, which I'd never heard of capsules before either. He gave me 2 capsules, so it's like ground up mushrooms in a capsule. Again, it's for pussies. Eat it up. It should taste like shit. It should make your stomach feel uneasy. You don't get to experience one of the most beautiful fucking things there is without having a little bit of uncomfort beforehand. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, oh, I want to eat it with peanut butter. I want to do it with this. I want to do it with that because it'll upset my belly. It's like it should. Fast for the beginning, just whatever. Eat dinner the night before and then fast for the day and then take your mushrooms so you can really experience what they are and eat them. It tastes like shit, but I think you should have to taste that before you get to fucking have one of the most beautiful fucking things happen to you that there ever possibly could be. You know what I mean? Everyone wants this easy fucking path to everything. It's disappointing. It's fucking disappointing. If everything's easy for you, what the fuck are you going to figure out? You're not going to get anything out of it, people. What the fuck? Anyway, I'm on Maui. I'm getting into mushrooms. I find one dude on the property who has these little capsules. And he gives me 2 of them. And I go, well, what kind of mushrooms are these? And he goes, the good kind. And I go, fucking fool. What a fucking fool. You know what I mean? I don't say that to him, but that's how I feel on the inside. It's like I'm clearly, I know they're the good kind, brother. That's why I fucking came to you. You know what I mean? It's like that's why we were talking to begin with. I know they're the good kind, but I want to know what fucking kind they are. And he couldn't give me any information. He also couldn't give me any information as to how much like mushrooms were in each capsule. I was like, is this like a half a gram or a gram? And he just goes, yeah. And I go, oh, fucking Jesus Christ. That's part of the problem with getting drugs, people, is you always got to deal with some stupid motherfucker half the time, And again, I'm not trying to be a dick here, but what, you fucking dummy. So, I ended up taking those 2 capsules, and it was very, mild. You know what I mean? It was more like I don't know. It was almost like I got too stoned or something like that. It was a very stoned type of feeling. And after that, I was like, well, fuck this. I'm just going to grow my own fucking mushrooms, right? So I figured it out. I got my little chemistry set together. And within 30 days of beginning, I had mushrooms growing and they were drying. It's pretty easy to do. If you're not completely retarded, which I tiptoe that line a lot of the times, people. I certainly do. You can grow mushrooms pretty easily, all right? It's all about keeping everything sterile. That's the biggest issue. The mushrooms will grow by themselves for the most part, but you just don't want to contaminate anything, because if you do, you will die. Okay? You will poison yourself and you will die. So just keep everything clean. That's all you got to do. But after that, after I dried them, I took a strand called Golden Teacher. It's one of the most resilient strains. I still haven't figured out what the fuck word I'm supposed to use there. Strains, I believe it is. Or is it strands? Either way, Golden Teacher. very easy to grow and super like resistant to infections. You know what I mean? Like there's some, I tried to get some fucking South American spores too, and they were more like a rare fucking mushroom, but apparently they were supposed to be a little bit more potent. But I had a bitch of a time growing those, man. They just wouldn't take off. But the golden teachers took off very easily. So I dried those, and I just was like, I took an afternoon, did my little fast thing, and I took 5 dried grams of psychedelic mushrooms while I was out in Maui. And I didn't blast off the way that I thought I would. And part of that thinks I didn't dehydrate them long enough. So when they weighed out to be 5 grams, I don't think they were as dry as they should have been. They weren't cracker-esque. You know, there was still some moisture in them. But there was, I just laid in the bed and just closed my eyes and tried to meditate and tried to disappear. That was the whole thing that I wanted to do. Whatever I think I am, whatever Joe is, whatever this thing, this ego that I am attached to, I was trying to separate myself from that. And I kept getting very close. It was so strange because it was like there was a high-pitched humming in my ears. And as soon as I started to think about something, that humming would go away. But if I could just not think at all, the humming just kept getting louder and louder and louder. And then at some point, it just felt like I was just floating in the infinity of the universe. You know what I mean? Like I was gone. Joe was no longer around, and I was just floating through space, time, whatever it is. It didn't last that long. The only thing that I can remember, the only lesson I can really remember is it was some voice, intuition, the mushrooms in and of themselves, whatever you want to call it. Could be God, could be the universe. I like to call the voice, anytime I'm on mushrooms, I just call it the mushrooms, all right? And it told me to live in intention. That was the lesson I got out of the first heroic dose, was to live in intention. And I thought it was easy to remember because the word in is the first 2 letters of the word intention. And what I took from that is like, whatever the outcome is of whatever it is you're doing is irrelevant, okay? It doesn't matter what you get out of anything. What matters is what you're putting into it. Your intention going into things is what's really important. So live in that and don't worry about the outcome. The outcome is irrelevant. The outcome is death. We're dying regardless of what you do. You can't live forever. So that's the end result. No matter what you do in life, we're going to die. That's just part of the game. It's part of living in these little mud bodies that we got, people. It's not a bad thing. It's not a sad thing. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? But the point that I just took away from that was just whatever you're doing, make sure it's coming from a good place in your heart. You know? To live in intention. Make sure everything you do is coming from your heart, and don't worry about what the fuck you get back. You know what I mean? Because the truth of the matter is, you probably don't really see or get to experience the seeds that you plant. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like when you might touch somebody's heart during the day. You might make them feel great. And then they go home and they think about the great thing that you did for them or how you made them feel. And you don't get anything out of that. You might not even know. It might have been a stranger. You might have held the door for some stranger who hasn't held the door held for her in a while or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And she goes home and she just thinks about you going, wow, I can't believe that nice young man held that door for me today. And you're beating off whatever the fuck it is you're doing at home. But the main point of that was to just live in intention. And sometimes I forget that, you know, it's easy to get caught up in the nonsense and really worry about the outcome. And, you know, you want success in life, whatever that is. You know, it means different things for different people. Money, cars, women, it means a lot of different things, but it's irrelevant because you got to give it all back. Either way, it's all gets put back in the box in the end. It's merely a game, and you got to put it up in the end. So maybe don't worry about that part too much. Maybe worry about what's going into it, And that was, it's a dumb, I don't want to say it's dumb. I try to tell people that, and they do look at me like I'm fucking retarded half the time. So you got to live in intention. And they're like, well, shut the fuck up. It's like, all right, forget it then. But, that's really the only thing I got out of that first one. And again, I don't think it was like a super heroic dose. The next time I did a heroic dose was with a couple of other people, and we did 6.5 grams a piece. So that's a little bit more than 5 for you math fucking whizzes out there. For all you fucking brainiacs going, wait, the heroic dose is 5 and you did 6.5. And I've heard other people talk about taking 9, 10, whatever it is. But these were very dry as a cracker. It was a legit 6.5 grams of dried mushrooms. And that one was fun. We were outside and we built a little fire out in this field. And man, it was something. That was the first time the sky turned into the eyes. Just, again, if you know who Alex Gray is, the artist he does a lot of Tools art, the band Tool. His stuff is a lot of like eyes, never-ending eyes, infinite eyes. That's what the sky turned into. And I assume it's always there. But this was one of the most interesting fucking things ever. Was like, the fire was going, and it's like, as the trip's coming on, I'm watching this fire, and then all of a sudden it's just like I see the complete evolution of human beings in this fire. Like it's this one little flame, and the flame all of a sudden is like a fish swimming in the ocean. I swear to God. And again, it's just your mind playing tricks with you or on you or whatever it is. But, and then the flame like kind of moved a little bit further out towards the edge, and then it was a tadpole, and it had legs. And it's like I've watched this whole evolution from fish to what we are now in this fire. And I remember as we're tripping, as the trip is getting more and more intense, the wind starts to blow almost in sync with the intensity of the trip. And it's fascinating because it wasn't windy when we started. I swear to God, it wasn't windy at all. We had a nice little fire going. And then as the mushrooms are kicking up, as we're ramping up, the fucking wind is in sync and just fucking starts whipping too. And we're like, man, the fire is getting out. What do we do here? But it got to the point where like we got to this pinnacle of the trip of the mushrooms as the most intense point of the mushrooms, and the wind fucking stopped. And it was like, oh, here we are, dude. Here we are. And it was, I don't remember what I was thinking about or what was going on, but my eyes felt like a fisheye lens. I felt like I was looking through my third eye, and everything was more rounded. It was fucking fascinating. And it lasted for hours, and I was gone, people. I was gone. I was just, wherever I wasn't there. And then as the trip, I swear to God this happened. As the peak is starting to come to an end, I feel my body get dropped back into my feet. Call me crazy. Call me whatever you want. I felt myself like get dropped down, and there was a jolt. And then the wind started to pick back up again. It was fucking incredible. And at this point, we were all, because with mushrooms, there's not like you're on the same journey together. You're experiencing it separately, but we took them at the same time. So we're all going through the same thing together. So we're on the come down now. And then, the wind starts to pick up and the flames start moving around. And we kind of like, okay, we have to contain this fire, because you get very primal and primitive. And all we couldn't really figure out, all we knew was the fire, if it went other places, that'd be bad. That's all we could really figure out is like, okay, if this thing gets out of control, that's very bad, right? It's like, yes, that's very bad. It's like, okay, well, let's contain it. We got some water. Let's pour it on there. And then my buddy's like, let's get in the truck. And I go, okay, that's fine. We could go sit in the truck, get out of this wind, let the fucking ashes kind of smolder or whatever. And I just remember before we get into the truck, I'm like, we're not going anywhere though, right? Like, because usually if you get in a vehicle, it's because you're going somewhere. Again, all very primitive thoughts or whatever. And then it was like being in the truck is a nice, this would have been like 2015, 2016. I think my buddy had a new truck at that point. And just looking at the lights and the dashboard, it's like, oh, this is like a spaceship. This is what a spaceship would look like, But then we just had nice conversations after that. One of the dudes, I didn't really know him that well. He was my other buddy's friend, but we had a nice talk. And I'm like, listen, I don't know you. He's like, I don't know you either, but we just went somewhere together. So let's talk to each other and get to know who we are. But man, it was I don't remember any lessons coming out of that one, but it was one of the most profound fucking things I've ever had happen to me, people. Watching life, the beginning of life, the beginning of existence, visually watching it all through this fire. And it happened within like 15, 20 minutes. It was all so quick and so fast. And just the wind being in sync with the trip was fucking incredible. And I'll never forget just that drop that I felt like going back into my body. I jolted. I swear to my knees buckled. I felt my feet hit the ground. It was fucking insane. I didn't jump up. I wasn't standing there jumping next to the fire. I don't know where I went, but I was fucking, gone. I was separate from myself. I was outside of Joe, watching him do whatever it was he was doing, It's fucking incredible. It's one of the most beautiful things that I've ever been a part of. And I highly recommend you do it. Face any demons, any bad shit you got going on in your life. Try and clear that out before you do, because you will encounter it. And I think that's what turns people off. That's where bad trips come from, is you're not willing to face what it is that you need to face. The shit that you've been holding on to since you were a kid, the girl that fucking, kissed your best friend under the bleachers when you liked her when you were in 5th grade or whatever it was. You know what I mean? All that shit that you can't, that feeling that sticks with you, that's a real shitty feeling, but you can never figure out what it is. You'll see it when you're on mushrooms. I know that. And it ain't that bad. You can deal with it. And mushrooms are very funny. There's almost like a humor to the mushrooms when you're in their realm. They're very clever, and they're little tricksters. It's fun. But when you know that going in, you don't worry about it. It's humorous. Life is humor anyway. It's a tragedy to those who feel and a comedy to those who think. That's life in general. So if you go into mushrooms with that attitude, it's all very, very funny and very bizarre. And so is life anyway. But those are my couple of heroic doses that I've taken, people. And I'm not like a fucking shaman or anything like that, but if you would like to talk about mushrooms or anything, if you're interested in going to those realms and doing the dance in the infinity, I'd be happy to talk to you about it and recommend some books that you can read to maybe put yourself in a better position before you do make that jump, before you make that leap of faith, to make yourself a little bit more comfortable with what is going to happen. But it is incredibly beautiful, and it's fucking fascinating. And I think it's a great way to prepare for not existing on this planet, in this realm of existence and the mud bodies that we have right now, because this is all an illusion anyway. And the mushrooms show you that. That's the whole thing. That's the whole point of taking mushrooms, is to separate yourself from this ego-driven fucking world that we live in now, you know? And people in powerful places, and I don't have fucking facts or anything to back this up other than just paying attention. I think people have a lot of stake in making sure you don't shed your ego ever, in making sure that your life, everything you do, is completely ego-driven, because that's a low vibration to be a part of. You know what I mean? If everything you do is ego-driven, you're always going to be about, well, how do I get more money to do this, to buy a bigger house, to get a faster car, to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that. And all that's great, and it's all fun, and live your life if that's what's important to you. But it's going back in the box at the end anyway, so it is irrelevant, you know? But people don't want to let you know that it's all fake. It's all a dream. What was the fucking, I think I've done this before, but it's a fucking nursery rhyme, man. Life is a nursery rhyme. It's row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. And why? Or what attitude should you have when you're rowing your boat? You should be merry. Merrily, merrily, merrily. Why? Because life is but a dream, people. It's not real. It's fucking incredible how not real. It feels so real. It feels so real, but it's the farthest thing from reality. We're so disconnected from what reality is. And that's why you got people wandering into schools and shooting kids in the head, you know? And you got some weird, creepy old fuck, you know, sniffing kids, talking, eating ice cream, supposedly directing the country, but really all he's doing is funding some fucking war, which is going to end bad for everybody. And it all doesn't matter anyway. None of it matters. It doesn't matter if World War III breaks out. It doesn't matter if aliens invade. It's all used to keep you in a low vibrational state, so you keep spending money, so you don't figure out what love really is. Because that's all anything is. You're either afraid or you're in love. So let's be in love together, shall we? Let's quit running with this fear ball. And I don't know. If you're into mushrooms, you know, maybe this gave you a little guidance, something like that. I don't fucking know. I'm just going through personal experience, man. I'm a nobody. All I know is what I've done and where I've been, and that's it. I got nothing else for you. I can't, you know, I'm not going to promise you the world. I do like those little magic mind shots, though. I have been enjoying those. So that's something you want. Maybe start with those instead of the mushrooms. But hey, thanks for checking out the podcast this week, everybody. I hope we had some fun today. I hope we got something out of it. I hope you're doing well in your own life. I hope you're well in your own little mud body. And if you're not, it's okay. Get it together, though, people. Get it the fuck together. All right? Oh, we got to do the animal video clip of the week before we get out of here, bro. What the fuck? You know, I've forgotten the animal video clip of the week a couple times, you know? I think there's going to be some changes coming to the podcast very soon. So I haven't put any of those in motion yet, but I've just been thinking about stuff. I think I mentioned it last week, bringing in a producer, getting some more guests on, shit like that. You got to take it to the next level somehow, people. I got the camera. We might as well fucking, I don't know. Does this look better? Do you think? Do I need to move closer for it to look better? I don't fucking know. Maybe I need some brighter lights or some shit. Either way, let's get you the animal video clip of the week and get you on your fucking way, people. This one's great, dude. This one is absolutely fantastic. Quick video clip. Link will be in the description, along with the link to Magic Mind. But pretty simple. This dude, he's got a horse. And the horses are fucking ornery. I did watch a video of a horse bite a lady's titty, and I thought that was fucking hilarious. She was trying to be like an Instagram model or whatever. She's like, I want a picture next to a horse. And that horse is like, I'm going to bite your tit. And And just her defeated face as she walked away was fucking hilarious, dude. I don't fuck with horses, people. I haven't been around them enough, and I know they're pretty stubborn animals, but they're just so big and so fucking strong, and they will kick the fuck out of you. That's my biggest concern. I don't want to get kicked. But this particular video, absolutely fantastic. This guy's trying to get a fucking wrangle on this horse, and they've probably been tussling for a little bit because both of them seem to be pissed off. But the guy decides he's gonna kick the horse in the belly. And as soon as he does, that horse kicks him right back. It's fucking hilarious. It's the perfect example of what goes around comes around. And also, as a human being, your strongest weapon is not going to be your kick, unless you're Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? Have you seen that fella's kicks? Wow. No horse would be kicking him back. But, you know, you're kicking a horse, which their best defense is kicking the fuck out of you. You know what I mean? It's just perfect. It's just poetry. You know what I mean? It's like kick a horse. It's like take a penny, leave a penny. You know what I mean? Is kick a horse, fucking get kicked back. It's absolutely fantastic. And fuck that guy for kicking the horse. You should have a better way of dealing with things. Anyway, thanks for checking out the podcast this week, people. Hope we had a little bit of fun. Hope we got somewhere. And if we didn't, that's okay too. We ain't going nowhere anyway, right? Next week, I'll be in Lexington, Kentucky, Comedy Off Broadway with my good buddy Aaron Weber. That is April 6th through the 8th. Austin, Texas, I'll be there the 15th at the Creek in the Cave for the Nasty Show, ladies and gentlemen. That's at 11 p.m., all right? It's a late one. I'm still trying to figure out if I can hop on some other things while I'm down there. I might just take a little mini vacation and fuck off for a few days in Austin and get some tacos and, you know, whatever it is else going on down there. Napanee, Indiana, April 27th with my good buddy Aaron Weber. That'll be at the Round Bar Theater. Pivot Brewing, Lexington, Kentucky on Wednesday, May 3rd. I'm headlining that one. We also got Murray, Kentucky, the 19th of May. Paducah on the 20th. Knoxville, the 28th. I'm bringing Monty Mitchell out there with me for that one, people. If you're in Knoxville and you need to know who Monty is. I love him. We got to do a show in Tennessee last Saturday. I just love seeing my buddy. He's so fucking funny, dude. I know he gets on the podcast, he's always like insecure about letting loose or whatever it is, but he's fucking brilliant at stand-up. He's one of my favorite fucking people. I love him to death. Got Boston coming up later in the year. Seattle, I'll be there too. Possibly Canada. All sorts of shit coming up. JoeKelleyComedy.com has all your upcoming info. And don't forget our good friends over at Magic Mind, people. I'm telling you, I swear to God, these little juice shots have changed my life. If you want to give them a try, if your mornings are starting slow, just go to magicmind.co/Joe Kelley. Use the promo code Joe Kelley on your checkout and just see if you like it, all right? If you don't want nothing to do with it, that's fucking fine too. But it has, man, this shit has been changing my fucking mornings, and I could not be happier. I couldn't be happier with how clean the jolt of energy feels, how long it lasts, how there's no crash, how I can still have my coffee with it, you know? I wait a little bit. I just don't go slam juice, drink coffee right away. That'd be fucking insane. But it's just, I've gotten so much more done this past week between just waiting for my coffee to brew than I normally have. I can say that and mean it from the bottom of my heart. So check them out if you want to. There's a link in the description of the podcast. Either way, my friends, thanks for checking it out this week. This was a long one. I think this was a long one. I can't see the clock, but this seemed like a very long one. Either way, do me a favor before you get out of here, all right? Take care of yourself. Take care of somebody else. Have a great week. I'll see you bad motherfuckers next week, all right? Next Monday. Enjoy yourself. Have a great fucking week. Later. YouTube, how we doing with the 4K? Is it all right? You think it's okay? Is this a good fucking deal here? This little fucking camera? I might need a brighter light, something like that. It doesn't look as bright as the old one, but I'm happy with this camera. It's been shooting great stand-up, all that shit. I love you over on YouTube. I absolutely love you guys. Darth Shibby, I love you, buddy. I hope you're doing well, my friend. We still got the Discord. I don't know what's going on in there. I don't check it that often, you know what I mean? I'm trying to do something, but if you guys want to pop in there, say hey, whatever it is. I just love you guys. I love every one of you for supporting me and coming along this journey with me, and hopefully we can get something out of it together. And I love you. That's it, man. I'll catch y'all next week, all right? Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Nobody else is going to do it for you. So fucking do it. Do it. Don't be fucking around, all right?